Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to create what we call a contribution receipt. And I hope you can see a sample of a contribution receipt right here. So the aim at the end of this class is so that you can learn to create a contribution receipt. So let's go to the beginning. We're going to track donations in QuickBooks, and we're doing it more for a nonprofit. For those who want to learn what to do in a nonprofit, we're doing it more for the nonprofit. So let's go to the next slide. So you can create a fund account called donations. You can treat like petty cash or other income. You can keep donations separate from your revenue, and this will also help you track your receipts easily. Depends on how you want to set it up. For some places, donations are their revenue like churches. So if you're in a foundation, sometimes your donations are your revenue. So you can't keep them separate. But for others who get some donations every now and then and just want to track their donations, you can treat it as other income if that's not your primary income for your business. Now, if you're treating this as a nonprofit organization, these are steps that we get from Intuit. So these are the steps that you should use to set up your account as a nonprofit. So take a minute, look at those instructions, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to the next slide. Now, we need to make sure in our setup, we create non-inventory items as fund donations. We'll talk about non-inventory, tithes, missions, general offering, pastor's appreciation. Money coming in should be called non-inventory. It's not a service, it's not a product. You have a church service. It's different from service when you're in the work world. Everybody got that? Total different. So we can link it to a donation income account and we can add each donor as a customer. In this example, the aim is to show you how you can use one receipt for the donor and you can update that weekly. So what are we trying to do? Create yearly contribution statements. Again, we're trying to create yearly contribution statements. So we're going to create a sales receipt. You're going to see that in step 1 and 2, how to get there. We're going to show you different parts of the receipts. We're going to customize the receipt. And you're going to see different donor receipts. And you can do drop downs, or you can add Zelle, check, whatever, inside of QuickBooks. And you can select save and close. You can email your donor a receipt of their donation, and you can use the print to do that and just email it to them, print it, save it as a PDF, and email it to them. So let's go to the next screen. So on the screen, this is how you find your sales receipt. You go to the create button. You see that at number 1. Then you go to sales receipt on number 2. And that's from the QuickBooks online homepage. You can go in and practice that. If you want to do that, make sure you know how to access the sales receipt. Now, next thing, when the sales receipt open, okay, what do I do now? You type in your customer, and in this case, your customer will be your donor. So this is the top of the sales receipt. Most of it is pre-populated. You type in your customer, you type in your email. Then you can record your payment. This is a fairly new screen. As of March 2026, that's when I saw it. So again, this is a fairly new screen. And you can record your payments as cash, check, other. If you're doing a receipt every week, If you're doing one receipt per customer for the year, then we'll talk about that. But some people want to do a receipt every single time. Not necessary, not for church. You can just do one big receipt because you don't give church people receipts every single week. You give them one big statement at the year end. Now, here you can also do charge a new payment, and then you can use your drop down. Everybody see that? But this is for a general receipt, and we're going to modify it for churches. So let's move on. So if you notice here, I can modify the begin date. And I make sure I point it to here. So let's say that the person became a member in January, and you're using QuickBooks for the first time, but you want to put them from January all the way to current. You can modify this sales receipt date, and then you can log in the contributions each week. If you had an Excel or whatever, you can do that. Now let's go to the next screen. This is the top of the sales receipt again, the middle, and now I'm trying to highlight the bottom. So why do you need to know about the bottom of the sales receipt? Because in this area, you can edit. Again, you can edit or you can customize that area. So what are we going to customize? We're going to customize the bottom of the sales receipt to create the yearly contribution statement. Notice I've highlighted the word customize, and then you're going to click edit current. So let's go to the next slide. And here is we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to log into QuickBooks or show you the QuickBooks screen where you can go back to the sales donor and you can keep logging in and logging in and logging in everything on the same sales receipt. So I'll show you some samples of what you can do. And also in this, you can also add classes. So when you add classes, you must also turn on your classes in your settings. So when you go to your settings in the home page, again, the settings is in the home page. You go to your classes and you can modify. I will try to remember to go to that area and show you what you can do. So let me see right here. I am in QuickBooks. And as I am in QuickBooks, let me go right here. I'm going to my settings. I'm going to my accounting settings. Then let me go to the word advanced. I'm hoping that I remember. So here's my classes. I have turned my classes on. And remember, the reason I'm turning my classes on is because I want to be able to put in my classes on my receipt. In churches, you got women's department, men's department, children department, Sunday school department, missions department, pastors appreciation. You name it, we got it. So some people want to check how much the women's department brought in, how much the men's department brought in. Should we continue this program? All those kind of questions bookkeepers answer. Everyone understands that? Do we have enough money to do this? Do we have enough money to do that? Yep, we got those conversations in churches too. Right? So let's look at these. So I have already created receipt for Jack Dean, receipt for Glenn Dean, and one for John Dean. Notice they have different dates. And I purposely did that. So I come here, create, and I'm going to create my sales receipt. When I create my sales receipt, my customer is going to be June D. June never gave it before. So June is a new member to the church. And so when I add June, the display name is unique. So let me make sure June is capitalized. And then I can just say that I don't need any of her other details in here. That's good enough for church. If I want to put an email, I can put the email address here. Record the payment. Okay, so June, she starts. The save receipt date is of today. I'm going to change this to February. She started coming to church in February. And that's all good. Welcome, June. So making sure I put June in here. Then what did she do? February 22. She gave offering. And she zealot to the church. And I don't need the quantity. I just need the rate because that becomes the amount. Oh, what department did she give it to? Oh, she gave it to missions. That's cool. Then she came back. She liked the church. February 27th, she is back. She's not a member, but she likes to come. So she wants to give general offering again. And she gives cash. And this time she gives $200 because she liked the pastor. She liked the church. She liked the atmosphere. Oh, which department is she's going to give into? Okay. I don't see what I have for here, so I'm just going to put right here, general offering for my class. And I click save. So there it is. It's under class. Then she comes to Wednesday night service. And so let me give her, she is really into church now. And she came in and she gave another general offering. Okay, what's wrong with my date? Let's fix this date. They say enter a valid date. Let me go and enter 28. Maybe that is a problem. So he did cash up this time with the prayer meeting or Bible study, whichever one they came to, and she gave $100. And for her, it's general offering. Not a member yet. Everyone see how I keep recording? And I can also add it to a class. So I'm going to make sure I record this because at the year end, I want to give June her statement. Now, in this statement, you can customize here. And in this area, the first tab we're looking at is design. In the design, you can change the template. So you can be airy. Notice it's switching. Airy classic is switching. I do modern. Oh, it's switching. I get something with some lines. I don't want all of that, but then I can do that. Then I can go to bold. Everybody understand? Now, I want to do logo. Can I edit my logo? Yes. You can edit your logo by clicking the plus sign and you can add your logo. Let's say I want to switch to this logo. It's not a good logo, but I want to switch to it anyway. There's my new logo and I click done. Everyone sees that? Now, if I want to edit, I say, I don't like that logo. That logo is not right. Let me go back to my logo. I can click my plus sign, switch back my logo, and click save. I don't like how the design look. I want just a regular thing. I like how it looks this way. I can click done. Then I want to look at my content. Let's say I don't like the word yearly statement and I prefer given statement. So I can go down, notice, I like my business name there. I like my email there, but I just don't want yearly. I want to change it to given statement. Voila! I like donor receipt, or I can say members receipt. If they're members, if they're donors, I can change that. I can also include form numbers, custom. I don't need any billing address for them. I can click done. If you don't want the business name, you can take it out. Leave the logo, leave the email. You see, you can take out and you can put in. Everybody see that? You can add address, you can add the website, and you can click done. For me, I just want the logo and the name. Now, when you're finished with a receipt, where do you find your sales receipt? You can go under sales transactions and you can see everyone. So if I'm at the home page, what do? I go to sales and get paid. After I click sales and get paid, then I go to sales transactions and then I see receipts for all the members that I have created contribution statements. Everyone sees that? So I see that Glenn gave 100 for the whole year. Jack gave 870 for the whole year. June gave 400 for the whole year. John gave $350 for the whole year. Notice also, you can see a lot of my contributions right here. Now let's say I want to edit my receipt and I want to create a message. So I want this message to be displayed on the sales receipt or the donor's receipt. No goods or services received. I can do that. If I want to do a statement, I can also do thank you for your contribution. I can do that. I can do record and close. So it's recorded. I can do close here, or I can do record and close here. This brings me back. So if you notice, I can fill in something in the memo area. Now, when I am going into sending this to a June says, look, send me my contribution statement. I need it for my tax return that I'm doing. And I need my contribution statement. I can go and I click print. Oh, there's everything that June has done up to date. It also has no goods and services received. That is beautiful. Then I can do print. I can do save as a PDF. Save that receipt. And I can call that June. Dean. And then from there, of course, I can email that. That's one way you can do that. Now, let me see here. Let me close this back. Here, let me see what I can do. I can click and have my sales report right here. And then I can also click my down arrow right beside the word print, and I can send it. So I can send this to Glenn, and then I'm going to put the email that I am using to send to Glenn. Everyone sees that? I can also send myself a copy. And I press the word send. So you can print it, send as a PDF, or you can just go here and click send. You can view the activity right here, right? So you have various options here. For me, I like to do a print, and I see everything that I want to see. So this is the receipt for Glenn. Let me see the one for Jack. I do a print. Oh, so Jack has been getting from January to 22. Oh, and he keeps, you notice you can keep adding, right? So can I remove the balance due? Of course you can reduce anything on these things. So it says members receipt. I have the nonprofit name. This is his receipt number. That's the date. I can change this if I want to, because you don't have a balance due. Everyone understand? You go in, and this is why I said this is very important when you're going to customize. You edit current. This is where you can customize here. So let me go into content, and I want to edit balance due. I want to display discount that. So balance due. Let me see if I can edit it here. But I'm sure in my content, that's my footer. It says in my footer I can display discount, deposit estimate summary, message to customer. Let me see if I can do something. Oh, I can do that too. Estimate summary, message to customer, invoices and other sales form estimates. We appreciate your business. I'm going to add footer text. Maybe I can do no goods and services here too. So maybe I have different places. No goods or services received. And this may be at this time type. Okay, there it is. It can be at the bottom. And I can center it, or I can put at the left. Okay, I can put done. Then I know that on the actual receipt, I can actually change it, so you can play around with it. And here, you can change anything that you desire. So when you scroll down here, you can put a message on the receipt, like, we love to serve you. Call us for prior, whatever. And we can do record and close. So, and this one, it says, oh, you didn't put a class for this one. Are you sure? I know I want to put in, he gave money and he wants to do it for the men's department. And I can do record and close. So again, this is just to show you that you can modify a sales receipt and make it a yearly contribution receipt. So at this time, I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. And so we learned how to do add rows here. That was this part. And customize the receipt. We also did some classes. When I turned on the classes, we did some classes. Remember, when you set up your contributions, you set them up as, if it's ties, you put as non-inventory. If it's mission, it's non-inventory. It's not service and it's not a product. Now, here's a sample of a contribution receipt, if you can see it. But I know I showed you one on the screen. But that's a sample of a contribution receipt. And what are some of the things that we remember? Even though we're using a sales receipt, we could have an invoice, but in this case, we can use a pledge. It's a promise to pay data because some people can pledge to the church and then they get the money and you keep recording it. That is almost like an invoice. Then for the sales receipt is the money that you get every single Sunday or every time that your church door is open and somebody gives you a donation or somebody sends you money, you can put it as money received. Some churches want to do their reconciliation from what they have in their church account to their bank statement. You should utilize your bank deposit. And remember, one of the last steps we did was we sent the receipts for records and appreciation. So thank you again, everyone, and have a superb day.